why did Utah come in and beat Baylor? Well, pretty simple. Like their head coach is way better. Their coordinators are better. They got a better game plan. They are a better program in like every possible way than Baylor right now from a football program. Like these things aren't like, oh, Matt, what happened on the third down defense? What happened on third down? What happened? I mean, no, we're not going to come on here and go into some kind. Now, again, are there people that are doing that? Yes. That's one of the reasons I've subscribed to my buddies at Sick'em 365. Because like Sam Bradshaw after the game, where we're all like, who's going to be the new AD? Who's going to be the new head coach? Bradshaw's breaking down. Why did Baylor have trouble in the court? Well, you go, well, I'm interested in that stuff. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at breaking down the film and showing you guys now, can I have opinions on how the team played? You bet. You bet. Am I going to go play by play and break all that down and tell you why it didn't work to stop them? No. Am I curious as to why it didn't happen? Yes, I am. And that's why I look at my old friend Sam Bradshaw and go, what is Sam saying about why Baylor? Because you know what I hate, I'm sick of hearing, is that, oh, it was one person's fault. Like, oh, the defense was in great shape, but one person, well, it was like 111th, right? One guy was out there. Who cares? It shouldn't be up to one guy. You ought to have a defensive line that maybe could step up and make a play on a ball carrier. I made the joke during the game the other night, Scotty, that you know how we do the yards after contact? Well, how could you ever do it? Like what? How could you do it for those Utah players the other night? Because nobody made contact. No defender made contact. Number 15 was just running roughshod. Literally, it looked like some little wingback came in there and they go, oh, and then one play early, Scotty. I mean, you know, on this great Dave Aranda defense, hey guys, locker rooms, Matt, our leaders are good. We thought we'd do better. We had a deal. I mean, if the program had any, if they had an AD who was on the scene right now. Now again, Jovan and Cody and all these people, I don't want anybody to get it twisted. I like these people and think they're doing a really good job under the circumstances. But like at LSU or any SEC school, if you watch that mess the other night and then you watch the guy come in and mope around afterwards, he'd be gone. It would be it would be interim coach. You don't wait around. You don't watch these last two games. He gone. But Baylor is in a different situation right now. And maybe under the circumstances, maybe you don't really gain. Like, for instance, Scotty, I think Scotty probably and others might say, well, it'd be kind of cool to see like Keenan Hall coach the last couple of games of the season or something like that. Maybe. See what the Bears respond. See what the team would do. Maybe. Do I think Keenan Hall is a candidate for this job? I do not. Do I love Keenan Hall? Yes, I do. Love for him to stay around. Wish he could be part of the next regime if there's going to be one. But right now, there's so much chaos with this Mack thing. It is probably best to let Dave coach out the season, and then you need to be running one of the most efficient and wonderful AD searches ever run. And it needs to happen over the next 2 weeks. It needs to be happening right now. I mean, if we're sitting here on December 13th, like, hey, what's going on? What's everybody doing? Like, you need to have a decision made. I mean, think about that. That's even, Scotty, let's look up when. I don't have this date in my mind. It seems like the signing day is usually like, I don't know. The early signing day is, I remember it was like that one time they lost Novosad. It was right before that bowl game, which might have been like December 20-something or whatever, December 20. I don't know what it is right now. We need to look at it because that plays a role into all this kind of stuff too. Now, who are the names being mentioned right now at AD? Ren Baker. He's at West Virginia. Good dude, great friends with Mack. Good, solid guy. Could be a good fit. he's the most probably experienced of the three. Baylor had a guy named Jeremiah Dickey who was here, who's at Boise State now. I've been open about Jeremiah's a great friend. I mean, he would pop on with us anytime we'd wanted. It would be good for me. It would be good for the show if it was Dickey. Now, he is very close to Mack. He was mentored by Mack. And you go, well, is he too close? Well, somebody made a pretty good point to me. Like, if Baylor was interested in bringing in Jeremiah Dickey, they say, well, all those years Mack was with Jeremiah, he never had any issues. Now, again, is that because Jeremiah helped keep him on track? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to make that statement, but I'm just saying it is interesting to think that, honestly, a lot of Mack's best moments in his career, he had Dickey kind of as his right-hand man, and he helped bring Dickey up in the business. And by the way, I don't believe that because Mack had an altercation and now Mack has had some kind of personal thing happen that's probably going to end up with him losing his job. I do not believe that Mack, like this thought that, well, will he ever work again? Absolutely he should. When he gets his personal life and everything in order and somebody wants to bring him as a consultant or whatever. I mean, he has a wealth of experience. Why in the world not? If Mack Rhoades, I hope Mack Rhoades is a great comeback story. He's 60 years old. All right. I hope he has an incredible final chapter. I just don't think it's going to be at Baylor. I don't think he does either. Now, I did see somebody say, well, what about, could you, they messed it up with this and maybe they mishandled some things in the past. Maybe you give Mack maybe give Mack a chance. Maybe there's a way. I mean, I get all that. But listen, the thing I keep coming back to is this is chaos. This is a tough time. Not chaos in the sense that day to day, I think Dave and the coaching staff and the administrators are doing everything they can. So it's not chaos in that. I'm just saying, you probably need a new head football coach. You need an AD. And the reason I'm acting like Mack's already gone is because he's not available to you during this huge time. Like, what do? You use an interim AD to go make a hire. And then on December 13th, you welcome Mack back into the fold and go, Mack, thanks, man. Good to have you back. We got the new coach, or we made a decision for you. Now you deal with the aftermath of this. No. None of that makes any sense. So anyway, you got to get everything in order. Now, as this show unfolds today, we're going to hear from Aranda from the other night, and then I kind of want to look and I want to see what Aranda had to say this morning. We'll react to some of that. I want to bring Scotty on. I've been trying to give Scotty a break, not a break. There's no break in this, but Scotty was putting a lot of the stuff with the show together as I was speaking in that first, this first period of time. Scotty, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm just tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. I got on Please Bear With Me last night, and I was like, what more do you say at this point? And you kind of said it well earlier. Like, there's no amount of breaking down football at this point that feels good. I usually love doing that. Not today.
Yeah.
I think and we're gonna do. I know we've got some Dave presser queued up here, but I think no amount of like, oh man, I didn't see that coming. Like, yeah. I'm really surprised. I think I'm tired of hearing that after every single loss. There's just a seeming lack of self-awareness or lack to tell the truth or both. And I'm tired. I'm tired, man. And I agree with what you're saying about Mack and ADs and urgency, the urgency which is required here.
Yeah, I do. And I mean, that kid's name, by the way, Scotty, Bird Ficklin. Bird is the word. Bird Ficklin is what they call him. He's got an actual first name, but he kind of goes by Bird. And BYRD, by the way. And I mean, he might as well have been flying above the whole Baylor defense. Wasn't that just from a press box standpoint, sitting up there? First of all, Scotty, I think sometimes we need to take people in our world, and you were out there, doing all that great TV work and we were doing our thing, but like, what a weird game. Because, and we've had them at Baylor before, and we had that conversation with Pete the other day. The atmosphere leading up to the game was like, oh, dang, all this weird stuff has happened. Mack has stepped down nationally from the CFP. He stepped away on his own accord to be away from the team. Like, I would not mind if like people would have rallied and there was some way of Mack not having to step away and could help Baylor. I mean, like, I wanted him to get a shot at running another search because I was very fascinated and interested in seeing what he would do because he's been through it. He's made good hires in the past. I mean, I was not one of these, like, just fire him now, get a new. I was like, man, let's let Mack have a go at this. And as you brought up the other day, Scotty, he saved I think part of Scott Drew, and I think Scott Drew's brother, and I think Scott Drew's dad, they wanted to go to Kentucky. Now, I think we had two people helping us in that thing, Mack Rhoades and Mrs. Drew and Kelly. Okay, I think we had some major help in keeping Scott Drew. And Scott would never, I mean, not that Scott didn't want to stay. I mean, Scott ended up staying. If he had truly wanted to go, he would have gone. But Scott, probably at age whatever he was, 52 or 53, did wonder, my gosh, it's freaking Kentucky. Like, if we're talking about the number one, like, most elevated, most visible basketball job in America, I'm sorry, I can't. I know UConn has become elevated because of what Danny's done there. But when you talk about blue blood jobs of the blue bloods, that's it. That's number one. And they found a way to keep him here. But, man, Scotty, that the atmosphere the other night was kind of a throwback atmosphere because it was like, you know what I mean? Like, think about that. You didn't have a single conversation where somebody was coming up like, do you think we have a chance tonight? What do you think about Utah? What do you think about
every single person that talked to me around that game was asking what I knew about Mack. They want to know what I know and what Baylor's going to do about it. And that was the only question I was asked as someone who does this. So, yeah, no conversations about football, maybe one or two comments about Coach Aranda, but the focus was anywhere but the players on the field. And then, unfortunately, the play on the field was nothing worth talking about.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Let's, Scotty, I tell you what, let's take care of our folks for a minute here. Such incredible partners. Central National Bank. I was thinking about them the other night while we were doing that pregame and just thinking about their commitment and how they've been so loyal. And then I'm very, very, I think during that broadcast, Scotty, and I didn't want to say this because I wasn't supposed to like tip anybody off, but like during the game the other night, one of their new ads, it has to do with like, it's a very, very cool thing. And they use some incredible Baylor student athletes that was set to roll out. Now, again, Scotty, the reason I'm like, wait, did that happen? Because, with so much uncertainty around Baylor, you're like, but I do think that rolled out the other night. And then I'm excited, Scotty, because soon we'll have that in our own hands and we'll be able to kind of run that and let everybody see that. But that's why I was thinking about Central National Bank. And I was even thinking about our great friend Brian Fonville, one of the big executives over there, because did you know who came into town, Scotty, like last week, unbeknownst to a lot of people? One of the Marcellus, is it Brantford or what's the famous jazz musician? How do you say their names? Scotty, you know what I'm trying to think of? How do you say their name? Winsalis or whatever. Anyway, they came.
If we were talking about rock and roll music, I'd have your back.
I know, but I know these people in Branford or Winston Winsalis. Anyway, they're like very, very famous people, and I'm just drawing a blank all of a sudden. It's Winston Marsalis. I'm sorry, Winton Marsalis. I had it somewhere in my brain. It was misfiring. Winton Marsalis. They're the worst. These guys, these jazz musicians are like considered like the greatest in the country, and they came through town. Winton Marsalis was in town, and because Brian Fonville's such a huge musician and is all in all the orchestras, the Waco orchestras, was in the Golden Wave Band back in the day, all the stuff. Like Brian was connected to all that. And so they did a lecture and then he did a performance. The reason I was so discombobulated because he has a famous brother as well. And so the Marsalis brothers is what I was trying to think of. But anyway,